Hey everybody, we have Bren here, the winner of Carta Magica's online regional. He came in first place with Omnimon Alter-S. And we have his deck here and the man in person. So Bren, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. A little tired. Back-to-back regionals this weekend, so it's been a long weekend.
Well, you came in first place on Saturday and then 24th in the in-person regional, but that was pretty much due to fatigue. And you already proved yourself on Saturday. And congratulations, and thanks so much for playing at Eagle's Nest and using our community as a training grounds. Do you want to go over your deck, or do you want to actually let's have you introduce yourself first. So tell us a bit about yourself, how long you've been playing Digimon, what kind of card, if you've been a long time card gamer, things like that.
Yeah, I've been playing Digimon since I started playing towards the end of BT 13. So it's that been like 2.5 years now, something like that. And I haven't really played card games much before that. I like playing like board games. I played a little bit of Master Duel, but Digimon's been like my main like first competitive card game.
Well, you've been playing not as long as I have, and your accomplishments are greater than mine, so I'm impressed. We have your deck here. Uh, we have, one of the unconventional things about your deck is you have the Coromon that's giving you DP. And in a deck where card draw is so important, you went for DP as an inherit. Can you go over why you made that choice?
Yeah, I thought about this for a bit, and actually, I had a friend like say, "Hey, just like put the Coromon egg in, try it, see how you feel." And I was on Sunomon for a long time, and the draw is great. I don't need to tell anyone why draw is good in a deck where you just need to find a bunch of pieces, or even in card games in general. But uh, what's going to happen is if you have found all your pieces, the draw does nothing. If you are missing one piece, then the draw has like a 10% chance or so of finding that one piece, maybe even a little less than 10%. Uh, and you have to find it like on the draw that you are like looking for it. So sometimes you don't even like get this because like you'll hard play a Digimon and you'll start the ping pong, but then you won't ping back to a Digimon that would Digivolve to give you this draw anyway. So this draw is like a little inconsistent, uh, but still good. The 1K though, the 1K comes up against pretty much any deck that runs Ruin mode. You really want to be able to promote a Digimon from raising. And Ruin Mode says that all your Digimon have minus 5k. There's a couple ways to get around this. I, for a little bit, was running a one of starter deck tie that gives plus 1000 DP to all of your Digimon. It's a 2-cost tamer. Uh, and Nokia also, as you'll see, Nokia is also in the deck.
Yep,
Uh, and she gives plus 1k, but she costs 5 to play, so you don't always get her out consistently. Uh, but yeah, it gives that plus 1k, which gets you to 6k, which lets you push out under ruin mode and stay at 6k. Nokia and Tai let you also play your Digimon that are 5k, and then those can stay too. But you really need to have a starting body to start that ping pong. And not all decks that run Ruin Mode can consistently get the 10k. Like if you because it's when Digivolving and on deletion.
I see.
Uh, like mostly like puppets and uh, Jupiter will or some TS will run the Ruin Mode
Hmm.
and get the -5, but they won't get the -10. Shine specifically will often get the -10k, but I got lucky I didn't face any Shine matchups in either day.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, so what you're saying is Shine Greymon, Ruin Mode is a very popular card in the meta. You need to get out your level 4s to be able to do your whole combo, but they are exactly 5k. You have two ways to play around it. You have either promote an egg, promote a stack evo with an egg under it, or get the Nokia out that gives your Agumon and sorry, it gives your Greymon and Garurumon the 1000 to make them 6K, so you don't even need the egg if that's the case, but you have 6 ways to do it here. And then, the Agumon, the Gabumon rookie, pretty conventional. You were mentioning that you wanted to just briefly say that they're not absolutely necessary to the deck. What are your alternatives for these guys? But why are these guys still the best?
These guys are still the best, mostly because of the inheritable to gain one memory. Lets you keep turn when you do the combo very often. Uh, the because I'm on the Koromon egg, you can run the starter deck adventure cards because those can digivolve on top of adventure Digimon. So you can run like Biomon or Palmon. Biomon is probably one of the better choices because it's red and you can search it off of one of your memory boosts. Uh, but Palmon, just the straight up draw is really good, and then the 1K can come up in specific matchups if but that's a little rare, especially because you already get the 1K from Koromon.
Palmon would be in this deck. Where's Palmon?
It's uh there's two different starter decks. Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
Bottom right.
there it is. All right, so this one's all turns 1000. Biomon had the inherit of your 2000 your turn, so they'd solve that same. But at this point, since you have this Koromon, you're way above 5000 on your level 4, so you don't need it anymore. So
For
the memory
sure.
is more impactful for you. And then,
Yeah, if you're on Suno, you can run BT22 Gabumon, because it's a good searcher, but that's
mhm,
only if you're on Suno. If you're on Koro, it's probably less good.
that's the blue one.
Yeah, blue one grabs Omni and Tech. But that misses on your level fives.
It's this one. Yeah, misses on your fives because it has to take Omni and Text or CS trait, and your level fives do not mention Omni, I guess. And
Yeah.
then uh, level fours, obviously, these new level fours make the deck so much more reliable to go up without losing memory. But very, very uniquely to you, you decided to play Platinum Sukamon. Can you explain what the point of this guy is?
Yeah, so this slot, I was thinking that I wanted more cards that I could hit, right? So I could have put another memory boost in, and that would let me more consistently search. Uh, but also, the more memory boost, the more analog use you add, the less cards that are in your deck that you want to hit. So you can do a memory boost and reveal three more memory boosts, and that feels bad for me. And I'm just like, I think just having more cards that I want to hit at the because I already have a lot of memory boosts and analog use. I just want more cards that I want to hit. So Platinum Sukamon is I think a good level four. Just to replace your level fours if you don't see a level four. There's a couple other level fours that serve that purpose though. So like Platinum Sukamon specifically is good because it also serves a couple of other purposes. The other ones also serve other purposes, but I think
I
Platinum
think
Suka being yeah, what's up?
some people were on the Greymon that has on deletion the Digivolve. I can't find it
Yeah,
now.
the it's you scrolled past it. It's
Oh,
the
oh,
purple
here it
one or
is.
the blue one right there. Yeah. That
So
one I considered. I think this is a good card to run, mostly just because it can be hit off of your rookie search. But I think other than that, I think the Sukamon is mostly better.
mhm. Just because of the play
Uh
cost.
just because of the play cost, yeah.
Three compared to five is significant. You can get it out basically turn one, right? If you're going second, or even if you're going first, you could do
Yeah.
rookie hard play him if you have everything else you need. And uh, you know, a lot of removal in the game right now is through Digimon. It's rookies are not going to kill it. They're going to need at least level four or higher to remove this guy, and then they're going to lose their tempo by getting de-digivolved. So it's always hard to think. It's hard. It puts a lot of you know, stress on your opponent to think about, oh, am I able to play around the Platinum Sukamon without deleting it? Should I delete it now or later? And because people don't practice into a card like this, they just don't know how to react when they see it.
Exactly. It's just and also those decks that I mentioned, Ruin Mode especially, will very often be forced to delete it on their way up.
Or the puppets deck
Other
too.
decks,
A lot of decks have mandatory removal effects.
yeah, puppets is definitely one of them. I know a lot of the puppets players I've been seeing have been running one or two ruin modes too, so I'm like, and they just OTK me, so I'm like, this is a way to stop them once they get into Central, unless like they fit some like very specific requirements.
All right, and then level fives are, your typical Wereguru Sagittarius mode, Metal Greymon Alter-S mode. We could talk more about them later when it comes to uh, how to use them in certain matchups. But then when it comes to level sixes, you went with the full four pack for the new Crescarumon and the new Blitzgreymon, and then you played one of the old EX4 Blitzgrays, and for Metal Guru, you kind of went like a little bit off the rails, and you played the BT17 Metal Guru. So, I mean, there's a lot of different. If you wanted to play five level sixes in each color, that's fine. But then tell me why these two were your fifth card for each of the Greymon and Guru line.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you said, a big part of this is running five level sixes in each color. Blitz Greymon has an inheritable that lets you trash your opponent's top security. So a lot of the time, a lot of your checks will be in checks of two. So Crescaru can alliance and do two checks. And then also the Blitz Greymon has inheritable sec plus one. So you're doing two checks with Crescaru. Sometimes, you do four checks with Crescaru. Blitzgray is sec plus one. Uh, and so if your opponent's at one security, a lot of the time you're going into Alter-S and you're swinging through that one security with sec plus one. But if you just trash for that top security, then you don't need a second Alter-S or a third Alter-S or however many Alter-S. You just need the one that will go for game and trash security.
I see. So this Blitzgreymon gives you the protection. It's got it lets you attack. It's got more things to do. It's got better effects on it overall, but the inherit is its one thing holding it back. So if you had everything you needed, you're able to go into Crescuru, attack, and then unsuspend with the one attacking in alliance and do an attack again. Then you can just OTK them and end the game sooner. And then Metal Garuru, why is this a one of in your deck?
Uh, yeah, so Metal Guru serves a couple purposes. One of them is an extra stun is always good, especially there's a lot of hybrid decks running around right now, especially red hybrid. And sometimes they'll make a lot of tamers, and so you can get that extra stun. But also, the more important reason, which you could run this one or the BT22 Metal Gurumon for this, is that it has the inheritable to unsuspend. So Blitz Greymon has sec plus one. So normally every Alter S gets you two checks. So if you have this Metal Garurumon in the stack, every Alter S gets you four checks. And so if you're playing against a deck that recovers a lot of security, you can swing or Alter S two checks, unsuspend, swing two more checks, go into another Alter S, swing two more checks, unsuspend, swing. Just keep doing that. So that's good for decks that have a lot of security, or decks that you are suspicious are going to have a lot of security bombs because Alter S is immune to those bombs, compared to Crescuru and Blitzcray, which will often just be immune to the Digimon effects. And so if you can do more checks on Alter S, you're safer, and Metal Gurumon helps you do that.
Oh, okay. So this effect to trashes once per turn, so you want to get the Metal Garuru comboed with the security attack plus one. Is that right?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. That's good. And then there are other fifth great like a level six Greymon, level six Gurus that people might be considering. Are these the best, or should people also be looking at other sixes for their last slot here?
I think there's some deck lists going around that are running the promo Metal Garurumon that is draw two, and then they also run the limited EX1 Metal Garurumon that is gain one memory for every four cards in your hand. And so yeah, those two cards.
Hmm.
You can draw a lot of cards already in the deck, and Alter-S lets you spit out any level 4. So what you can do is you can get a bunch of draw to start, swing with Alter-S, and then spit out your level 4s off of the end of attack effect. And the level 4 can grab back whatever piece you're missing normally, but in this deck, you can grab the EX1 Metal Garurumon and continue to loop that memory if you have all the rest of your pieces. And you just can basically gain as much memory as you have Alter S's. The problem with this is that you are now getting a lot less aggro that Crest Guru normally gives you. And you also are kind of forced to run more Alter S. I know a lot of decks are already running a lot of Alter S. I know I'm kind of like a lot of people are running 4 of this Alter S and then sometimes running some of the EX4 one. Uh, if you do that strategy, you're kind of definitely forced to do that,
Hmm.
rather than like it's another tech choice you can do.
Sounds like it's more of a high roll strategy, but I'm going to be honest with you. If you can win a whole tournament without the card, I don't think you need to really high roll. The power of the deck is already there. It just needs a good pilot. And then
Yeah.
just a little bit of flattery for you there. And then we have the Omnimon Alter-S as a 3 of, and then we have the older EX4 as a 1 of. Is this because you need to run 4 for ratios, or is there a reason to run 3 and then an extra one of these? Tell me the logic there.
So for a while, I was just on 3 of the EX9 one. And that was, for the most part, enough. There were times where I was like, I kind of want another Alter S, but also there's times where I was missing other pieces, so I was just like, I'm just missing one piece. The amount of aggro that Crest Guru does, I was like, that's fine to just be missing Alter S every now and then. Uh, Having the fourth one is nice. The reason I put EX4 as my fourth one is because I expected this deck to be more popular than it was, because it topped in Oceania. I was originally thinking no one's playing this deck, and no one realizes that it's good yet. And then it topped. I'm like, people are going to be playing it, and I think still people aren't playing it very much.
Hmm.
But this Alter S is very good because it has a better partition, a partition that works even in battle and also doesn't activate piercing. So if they swing 2 checks with their crest, your crest can DNA into this Alter S, redirect the attack into this Alter S, spit out your bodies on when it loses the battle, and now you have the redirect reset, the Blitzgray reset with the immunity, the blocker reset, and they don't get any piercing checks because this just goes to your security.
Right, so you have an extra layer of defense with this guy, and he really shines in the mirror match, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and he's also just good as your last Alter S. You don't want to see it as your first one if you're trying to aggro, but if it's your last one, it works just fine.
That's good. We have the last tech options and tamers here at the bottom. I would consider them all tech choices. I mean, some people could be running black memory boost. There's not a lot of cards in the deck that are not black, but you wanted to go with the newer LM memory boost so that you could really just grab any Digimon that you see. So this one can grab black and blue. This one can grab black and red. We have the two standouts here. The Gurumon is just blue, Greymon is just red, and you played 3 of the option that can grab the Guru, 2 of them that can grab the Greymon. Is this because grabbing the Guru is more important, or you just couldn't fit 3 and 3?
There's 2 reasons. I think grabbing the Guru is on average more important. Greymon only works once you start having things in trash. Having an extra draw is always good. Uh, but also Metal Garurumon is only blue.
Right.
There are no cards besides Greymon that are uh, just red.
Hmm.
So that's why, a little more midnight because Guru is more important and also more blue cards.
That makes a lot of sense. And for the Tamers, we got an Analog Youth, who I'm assuming is just here as a searcher. Can you explain why he makes a good searcher for the deck?
Yeah, you just want to see all your pieces, and sometimes seeing them in trash is just as good as seeing them in your hand because Greymon can grab them back from your trash. Analog Youth, unlike the memory boost, can grab any Digimon. It feels really bad to use a memory boost and search uh, let's say you're using Garnet and you search Guru and you don't have a level 4 yet.
Hmm.
That feels very bad because now you don't have your level 4. Analog Youth will always grab the card that you need and also sometimes give you extra.
Right.
You also don't need like the memory boosts are good. You really do want that memory for later,
Hmm.
but I know some lists are running like 8 memory boosts, and I think you don't necessarily need that much memory because you don't necessarily need to keep turn.
Right. So you have the Analog Youth who's going to put one Digimon into your hand, the rest in your trash, and then Greymon lets you toolbox your trash. So all the cards you're putting in your trash are not really lost for the game as long as you have Greymon. And then last of all, Nokia, we did talk about it as a out to ruin mode. Is There are two other aspects of it: memory setting to 3 and start a turn on play. You get to play out one of your rookies. Do those matter on the card?
Definitely. The out to ruin mode, because you can hard slam your fives, is good, but also just having a memory setter and being able to play a rookie start of turn represents effectively 5 memory that you're guaranteed on your turn. If you have a rookie in back and Nokia, that's enough memory to do full combo.
Hmm.
If you have another rookie in hand, if you have uh, a level 4 in back and a memory boost in Nokia and a level 4 in hand. That's enough to do full combo. Yeah, she just kind of does everything that you want.
It's great.
It's just hard to get her out.
And then there were some matchup data that you wanted to go over. You said you played against, well, in round one, your opponent had to drop, so you really played. You won 9 rounds undefeated, but you played 8 of those 9 rounds, and you were already the only undefeated by the end of round 8. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So playing round 9 for you was just the victory lap, and you won it anyways without anything to lose. So you really showed your dominance. But your first opponent today was Red Hybrid, not necessarily Steven here, but let's just use him as an example. What is Red Hybrid? What is your goal against Red Hybrid when you're playing your deck?
Uh, Red Hybrid takes time to set up nowadays. The new Altamon gives you a lot of value when you swing, and so very often they'll be hitting your security early, and just so that they can get free tamers out. They will sometimes give you value in that they will give you memory boost, they'll give you Nokia, they'll give you analog youths. But also sometimes they just hit a Digimon out of security that you're missing. That Digimon going to trash means Greymon can grab it. And so yeah, you just want to basically wait until they are going you think they're going in for their kill turn and kill them one turn before that because usually you have enough time to set up to do that. Uh, Sagittarius also helps stun their tamers if you need a little more time. The Metal Guru also helps stun their tamers if you need a little more time. Alter-S lets you replay all of those effects as well because they can play any of your Guru or Greymons out. And so yeah, you can just continue to stun them if you don't quite have it yet.
All right, and then
You are
next.
afraid of you're a little afraid of spirit evolution, I think.
Okay.
If you sometimes if the opponent puts a spirit evolution out and you like pass turn going up to your level sixes and you hit a tamer out of security, they could potentially go into a Digimon that is like going to do something. Although I think they probably most of the time they need 5 sources to go into an Emperor Ray for that to matter. Uh, but that is still something to keep in mind.
Okay. Uh, the next matchup for you was Medusa, and we do have a topping Medusa as an example. Dan Vang is famous. Congrats to him for 8th. Okay, let's look at Medusa a bit. What is your strategy against Medusa? I'm a Medusa player myself, so I know that this matchup can be pretty difficult for Medusa, but how do you make it super easy for yourself?
Medusa is hard. I don't think it's ever an easy matchup. The thing about Medusa is most of the time their security is not that scary, but you do have to decide, are you more scared of Crimson Blaze or are you more scared of Serpentine when you're going through their security, or do you just not care? Uh, the a lot of it is just, do they see their pieces faster? Sometimes they'll just OTK you, and then you just kind of you can't do much about that. They will bottom deck your trash, and that's frustrating. My Medusa matchup during this tournament, I think they didn't see their pieces very fast. I think they were missing some things. Uh, but I think this matchup can go both ways. You can easily dismantle a Medusa board after they've set up, but also sometimes they just kill you faster. Make sure to stun the Tamers also if you can, because that gives them way more lethality than they have without them.
Yep, that I agree with you there. Next matchup for you was Jupiter. We do have a Jupiter here, so let's look at their list and then okay, well, this is more of a toolbox focused Jupiter because you know you have the AGO and AGO choose leading up to Jupiter, but then you've got you know except for Maruki, we're not missing TS top end. And there's the ruin mode you were talking about. So how do you is Venusmon a problem for you? Like how do you beat this deck?
Venusmon is very difficult to play into, especially the old Venusmon. The newer Venusmon is less difficult to play into. Uh, but they both have outs. Ruin mode, like I said, really bad. If they get into it early, that really hurts. Uh, the Jupiter itself is also pretty difficult to deal with. You just kind of have to answer it after they go into Jupiter. You can't try and like preemptively go against like build up your sixes. In a lot of matchups, you build up your sixes first. You tell your opponent like deal with this, or I'm gonna win next turn.
Hmm.
In this matchup, you kind of want to go for the OTK because them building up Jupiter, they can do DP minus until your turn ends,
Hmm.
and that you actually don't have an answer to really without Miraculous Mega Knight, which I'm not running. Uh, the in the matchup specifically, I the what happened game one? I think we talked about this, and I'm blanking. I'll talk about game two first. Game two, they missed on some pieces. I think they hard dropped an Agiomon.
Hmm.
Uh, I responded by just going in back and dropping a Platsuka.
Hmm.
They were able to get into their Venusmon,
Which Venus?
the yellow blue one,
Yeah, Standasuka.
and they stunned the Suka. I ended up doing the ping pong, and the Blitz Gray was on top of the Suka. And I kept turn with that, but I couldn't gain immunity with Blitz Gray. But thankfully, I had Kresguru on the other stack, so I could still swing with jamming and unsuspend the Kresguru,
Hmm.
and swing again, and then go into Ultra-S and do the loop to swing for game.
Yep. Well,
Uh,
you mentioned that you just want them to promote first. You want to deal with the Jupiter after it's already established, and then you want to OTK them. I totally can see that being the case because this deck has virtually no OTK ability unless you give it a huge amount of memory, and they have a lot of cards already set up. Whereas your
yeah,
deck, it can OTK half the time, and then you have D-Digivolve, which is just so good against these decks that have all these protections on their level 6. So when they lose their level 6, all the protections, most of the protections gone. They still have decode. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, you're basically dismantling all their hard work with your D-Digivolve, and then you're immune to their other, like you're immune to Neptune, you're immune to Minerva, Venus, not so much, but
yeah.
you know, so
So Venus, you can out. Venus is the old Venus is very tough
mhm,
to out. But what you can do is you can go into EX9 Alter-S,
mhm,
swing at something. Sometimes they'll have another body. Ideally, you want to swing it to that other body if you
mhm,
can. and then the end of attack, you get to play out your bodies,
Yep.
and you can deal with the Venus with your on plays. And after you've dealt with Venus, they you now have access to your when attacking. So you now have access to your when digivolving effects.
Hmm.
You also still get access to Alliance because it's not a when attacking effect.
Right? So you're saying even if Venus is trying to slow you down, if you have these guys in your stack, because it's an on play when they come back out, you're gonna get your full effects to get your immunity and de-digivolve her if she's been evoed into, which she most likely is because she doesn't have a reduced play cost. And you're just basically using a couple more cards but totally ignoring her. Next
Yeah,
deck that you played against was Millenniummon, and you did two back-to-back Millenniummons. So we do have a second place Millennium, Tessero, also a local Eagle's Nest. Congratulations to you, Tessero, also. You didn't play against him, did you?
I did play against Tessero.
Oh,
I think that was my round 6 match. It might have been 5. I think it was 6. I played against Millennium on stream, and then I think I played against Tessero the next round.
okay.
Uh,
How did that go for you?
so I think the Millennium matchup is extremely in favor of Alter-S ping pong. The thing about it is they take a long time to find all their pieces, and you also take some time, but you take less time usually, and so you can just finish them off beforehand, or you can get into two level sixes, and they can't deal with them. The thing that both Tessero and the other Millenniummon player were teching that made the matchup a lot harder was the Pandemonium Flame. That is the one out to the deck because you can kill your own Millenniummon to kill my deck via an option effect rather than a Digimon effect. Uh, I know in one of my Millennium matchups, I knew they were going to draw into a Pandemonium Flame because they bottom decked it and they were very thin on their deck, so I'm like they're going to draw into this soon. But they had to swing before continuing their combo, so I went into Alter S on their turn, uh, and
This
that
one?
way, yeah,
Gain
that way I was
immunity.
immune. Yeah, I was immune on their turn, even to the Pandemonium Flame, and then I think I just finished it the next turn. I don't remember who that was against though.
Okay.
Uh,
Is there a strategy? Do you just want to find your OTK pieces as soon as possible, or are you just going into your sixes to try to build some defense and then finish them off a turn later?
if I can, I want to find the OTK as soon as possible, but a lot of the time against this deck and really a lot of decks, you just go into your sixes. The sixes, they can interact with it except for Pandemonium Flame, and if it gets back to your turn, you have all of the effects that you would ever want to get rid of them. You can de-digivolve them, you can bounce them. The big thing that I sometimes see Millenniummon players do is they will leave out their Millenniummons and they will sometimes also leave out a rookie. It's hard for me to deal with both the Millenniummon and the rookie, but if it's just the Millenniummon, I can clear it pretty easily, uh, and then just go for game from there.
Okay. Uh, Next you played against Hudie. We actually do have Hudie, and
If you go to the 12th place list, that was
that
the
was your
one that
actual
I
opponent,
faced.
Kakaru.
Yeah.
Kakaru. He's also one of your Eagle's Nest's community members, so we have his list. Luckily, he did well too. Tell me, was this a knockout of the park, or was it an actual rough battle?
I think this matchup is pretty favored for Altares. Huddy kind of runs into a similar problem that Red Hybrid runs into, in that they want to get some draw early on from like things like Seadramon. So they'll be getting a couple free checks in early. They can stop you if they see a Comet Hammer in security, but you can also just stun their Ryuji, so they can't usually get it off that way. I think I didn't see a Comet Hammer in Kakeru's security this time around, and so it worked out pretty well. Ice Archery doesn't really do much in the matchup,
Yeah, it makes
but
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so they're just slower than you. Makes sense. And they're very low on their options, which is basically their only out to your deck. So as long as you dodge those options, you get the free win most of the time. And really, it's only the two common hammers you're worried about in this list.
Yeah, a
Next.
nice bonus they have is the Erica.
Mhm.
You can't if even if you stun Erica, she can still get slotted under Wormon, and then the stun doesn't matter.
Okay, and next matchup was Imperial. Imperial, where are you if you did top? We did have one top here with Imperial. Maybe it was this guy. So, because if you battled him in round 8 and he topped, it probably was him. Was this matchup? I can see how they would have a good chance of beating you because they have this Paildramon where the attack target can't be changed, and then once they go into their uh, fighter mode, they can do a lot of damage and slow down your plays. Did that
Mhm.
come up, or was he able to pull off that combo against you? Because also this deck struggles from consistency issues.
Yeah, I think the deck needs a lot of time to set up usually. Like the Davis and Ken costs 4, which is kind of a lot to be passing over. And then also you need to see all the rest of your pieces, and so you need to spend time searching for them in the meantime. Uh, they because they were still finding pieces, and I think they also are like less focused on the OTK. I see only one starter deck dragon mode here.
Hmm.
Uh, they would they just took too much time, and I think I just found all my pieces. The thing about the new fighter mode and the old dragon or the BT16 dragon mode
Hmm.
is they both are looking for like when you digivolve by effect
Hmm.
uh, or play anything. I think with the new fighter mode, and so they can like interrupt your combo. But because you have the same priority as them, like you're doing the thing at the same time, because you're turn player, you get to do your thing first, so you just get immune before that happens, before they can resolve the effect. Uh, and then also because they're not on the OTK version, they are chipping at your security a little bit so you can get some value out of security. I think in my final game, I also had like all 3 of my EX9 Alter-S's in hand, so I could just keep going at the end. But also EX4 is really good into the new fighter mode and the old dragon mode because your Cresperuru can digivolve when they attack, but because they're turn player, they can activate their effect first. So you don't get immune with the EX9 Alter-S in time. But if you're running the EX4 Alter-S, you can go into that one. And even though you're not immune with the EX4 one, if they remove it, then you get to play out your level 6s anyway. And then you get
Yep.
your on plays, which are just as valuable.
And then their effect is done for the turn. It's only once per turn. Yep.
Exactly.
And then last round was against Puppets. At this point, you were the only undefeated player in the tournament, but according to Bandai rules, they have to do the preset amount of rounds. So I don't know which person it was. It could have been this one, because it seems
I think
like
it
you're the
was
other
7th place.
seventh. That's oh, sixth.
Uh, 6th
Oh,
place,
it
yeah.
was Square
Yeah, it
Cube.
was.
Yep, yep, it was. You're right. Uh, let's look at their list. So first to note, they were playing the Nyaromon, which has, overtaken the other rookie in popularity. It seems like this is the more successful egg. Did I say rookie? This is the most successful egg to be playing right now. But let's just go over their list a little bit. So we did an interview with K-Fizz Pop, who was playing the same sort of thing here. They did not have Pillow, but they did have Namekamon, Sistermon Seal, Sistermon Awakened, and a Ruin mode. They also did not have the Ragnarlord Ace, but
Hmm.
they had a list that was comparable to this, and they said that they could stun up to three things in one turn by deleting and taking back, ending their turn and taking back turn with the Sistermon, Seal, and Seal Awaken combo. Did did that matter to you? That were their toolbox cards an issue for you? And how did you, is this usually a hard matchup? How did you turn it into a win? Because I think I saw you won
I
2-0
think
on stream.
Yeah, I think Puppets is a little bit of a hard matchup for me. Uh, it's mostly just because they just win faster a lot of the time. They just represent so much lethality that it's difficult to deal with. But they also have a couple of key cards that I think are really difficult to deal with. I would say Ruin Mode, obviously, we've talked about that. But
Yeah,
Nyanbu also presents a similar issue to Jupiter, where if you establish two level sixes, they can just DP minus it and then kill it. I think they didn't see their Nyambu in our game, and so they weren't able to get rid of my level sixes. The other key card is the Namakemon. Preventing D-Digivolve is difficult to deal with. A lot of my effects I want to D-Digivolve them because after I do, their protection is gone. Uh, but yeah, the Pillamon is a little easier to deal with because it's always going to be the lowest level. I can always just bounce it to their hand. Uh, but if they can find a way to have the pillow out at a bad time for me, then I can't loop my Alter-S's.
right. You don't have the end of attack anymore.
Yeah.
All right. But you still managed to pull it off, beat them 2-0, and then you were the only undefeated for the whole tournament. That's an amazing feat for 9 rounds. Congratulations. There, you earned it. First place. Do you have any closing remarks to or pieces of wisdom that you want to give about your deck?
Uh, that was a good tournament. I think I played a lot of good opponents on Saturday. Uh, I think I like my list. I think I wouldn't really change much right now. I definitely got a little lucky in my matchups. Not seeing Shine Gray all day was a huge boon to like doing well. But and also seeing I think I faced two Millennium players was also like pretty good for the deck.
Two
But
favorable
yeah, I think
matchups.
yeah, it's lots of good matchups. I do like the list as it is. I think I probably wouldn't change much.
Well, again, congratulations, and I'll see you more at Eagles Nest, Bren. And thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks. Y'all have a good one.